Hey, welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome to the show. This is Council of Future Conflicts, episode 509. This is actually 509. Last time we had a wrong number. So that one was actually 508. So this is 509. We got it all straightened out now. We're talking of minerals and trade, and that's not just the Ukraine mineral deal, but that's trade with China and the kind of broader kind of economic pressure that the Trump administration is applying throughout the world. And then we're also going to talk about the Syrian quagmire, because let's be honest. If I described the current situation in Syria to anybody at any time in history, they would say, yikes, I don't want any part of that. And it doesn't help that the Al-Qaeda-led government is essentially striking out at everybody that isn't them. And then, of course, they found out the hard way in the last, 48 hours, 24 hours, that Israel actually would come to the defense of the Druze. So we'll be talking about that and a whole lot more. In the Syrian quagmire, we've got a little bit of Iran mixed in with there too. So a lot of interesting stuff to talk about. Let's see, gentlemen. Joe, how you doing, brother? Some excitement there locally.
I'm sorry?
Go ahead. I said you had some excitement there locally.
Yeah. It's pretty good. Last night we were just kind of sitting around chilling, and the helicopter came in pretty low, and I actually went outside to try and look for it, and then I heard it land. So I was like, hey, that's interesting. So I drove down to our helipad, and sure enough, Life Flight was down there. A little while later, the ambulance pulled up, and they worked on the guy for a little bit, got him stable, and then took off towards Kalispell with him. But pretty cool. I knew that we had that helipad set up for Life Flight, but hadn't seen him use it before. So pretty cool. Hopefully everything turned out well for the victim, but it was pretty cool to see Life Flight in operation up close and not be me as the victim. So good stuff.
Yeah, right. It's like, good news is I got to see how Life Flight works. The bad news is it was my life that they were flying out. That would have been the.
I see someone's mentioning the acoustics here. This is our classroom and / dining hall at Camp Ponderosa, because we have a live studio audience back here, and we're going to be doing class in here this morning. So,
Joe, that's the same auspicious location that we had our live show during the Freedom, the Shield.
Yep, and I'm down here at I'm down here at the other end, that rather than where we were. But I'll tell you, Vaughn, probably because he saw the first live show here, donated us enough equipment to do a good live show this year. So maybe Watcher will use it when we do something with Matt and Stan and Jim while everyone is here. And then who knows? We'll be ready to use it again in August too. So.
Well, I really hope you guys can bring back like a privy council episode or something like that. Even if it's not live, you film it and then you upload it. I think that'd be pretty damn cool.
Yeah. I think though we are planning on doing some sort of a live show here that week. I got those guys to commit to it. I showed up on their front door for lunch one day and forced a meeting with them. So. That's not true. They actually called me, invited me over, but we'll do something. So for everyone who's looking for a Privy Council type episode, there will be one coming up.
Very cool.
A couple weeks.
Yeah, I think that'll be very cool. All right. Watcher, how you doing, brother?
Doing good. Just enjoying having power back on. What else can I say?
Yeah, I mean, it's like you don't appreciate something sometimes until it's gone. And in this case, power is an easy one to. And we talked about, going without power on Wednesday's show. So hopefully Hopefully that kind of spoke to some of the folks out there.
And then I've had a lot of people asking if they could donate to me directly. I've held off for a while, saying, "Hey, wait for me. I'm going to do a live stream." I was thinking about doing one last night, but I kept monitoring, and the May Day thing appears to have been kind of a bit of a flop. So didn't do a little night watch, but I think what I'm going to end up doing is this afternoon sometime. I've got a game that I think you all will particularly appreciate. It's that I don't know if any of you guys ever talked about this, but my friends and I always have, and it's that full on 100% Vietnam experience, as in like downtime activities and crazy stuff. It even includes a serving your entire tour of duty and getting discharged back to the States and trying to hold down a job and have a family thing. It's a little bit crazy with an eye on dark humor. So I think you all.
What is it?
It's called Vietnam War.
Is it a video game?
It is.
But due to tariffs and restrictions, the young ladies in it now only offer to love you medium time.
That's
Medium
correct.
time.
Yeah. So yeah, I think you guys will appreciate that. Keep your eye on my X page for links to that later.
Yeah, that'll be cool. I really want to get back to where we can do some fun streams. I don't.
Agreed. It's been too long.
Joe, what do you do? You got what time does the class end on Saturday for you?
It ends at probably 4:30 or 5 p.m. Pacific, which would be probably 7.
I wonder if we were to do a nighttime watch party. I'm sorry. This is worth Kaiser John for $100 on the Rumble chat. Says, "Good morning. Maybe some of this can go towards Washer's Electric Saga." Yeah. We can make that happen.
We'll give Washer 32% of it. No, I'm just kidding.
That's right. Well, let me just tell you, I'm an excellent judge of character. I'll give him everything he needs.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I thought might be interesting show with Stan and Jim is given their unique perspective. Maybe we talk about Canada and where it's headed.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. What's funnier, right? The fact that the liberal guy calls immediately to start slobbing on Trump's knob. Let's make a deal. Now that I'm the prime minister and I don't have to say anything bad about you to get elected, let's make a deal. I'm very curious to see how that goes because Trump definitely wasn't very, very friendly to him.
I have but one thing to say.
Hunch just gifted 10 subscriptions.
I know. I just saw that. Let's see. Hunch the Dirty Roofer gifted 10 subscriptions to Future Conflict. This is over on Rumble. If you guys are not members yet over on Rumble, if you're on YouTube right now, go over to Rumble, and if you pop into the chat, I bet you'll pick up one of these because my understanding is that everybody who has the pink or the around their name, that means that they're a member. So there are many people here that there you go. John Deloach was the only person that didn't have that, so he got the membership. Wrench Turner got one.
Whose name is neither John nor Deloach. Whatever.
Well, I wouldn't imagine many people on Rumble use their real names.
I don't know. Wrench Turner sounds like a real name. Polar Bear sounds like a real name.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Anyway, so if you haven't, if you're not a member, head on over to Rumble. And I don't know how to turn it on to make sure. I don't know how to make sure you get it because Polar Bear doesn't have. He's not a member, and it hasn't membered him. So I don't know how that works. Anyway, all right. No, what I was thinking, Joe, what we could do is we do a movie night. We could do another episode of Sharps or whatever, and it's like you could invite the folks that you have there, and you could throw it up on a TV screen or something. There in the hall. That's exactly right, and you can do like a little group watch there with us, and it could be fun. We haven't done it in a while. There's no reason I can't do it. I just need to know that you guys are in, and I'll set my alarm because I have to get up early to do it. If you guys are in, just let me know. And if we need to do it a little later because you guys are Mountain Time, then that's fine too. We could talk about it after the show. All right. Yeah. Anything else, guys, before we jump into our program of record? First up in the odds and ends, FBI Assistant Special Agent in Charge Elvis Chan has been placed on terminal leave.
Could not happen to a better guy.
Oh boy, this guy.
This is the man. This dysgenic freak before you is the man who ultimately hand delivered Biden the presidency for 4 years. This is the man who went to the social media companies and told them to shut down the laptop story. This is likely the man who went to the social media companies and told them to ban you as a Russian bot or disinformation agent.
Pretty much.
Genomics is real. That guy looks like a Chinese spy because he's probably a Chinese spy. And there he is. Couldn't happen to a better guy.
Exclusive, FBI places censorship agent Elvis Chan on terminal leave. Let's see. The FBI declined to comment on Chan's status, citing its policy on personal matters. Chan, who identifies with he, him pronouns in his LinkedIn bio, still lists himself as a assistant special agent in charge of the FBI's San Francisco Bay office, where he served over 19 years. Chan's leave follows a turbulent period involving a lawsuit filed by the House Judiciary Committee last year. The committee accused Chan of obstructing its investigation and alleged social media censorship by failing to comply with a subpoena for a deposition. The lawsuit lodged in the U.S. District Court of Washington, D.C., claims Chan disregarded the subpoena after the Department of Justice challenged the committee's deposition protocols. Chan had violated and continues to violate his legal obligations by refusing to appear before the Judiciary Committee. House Office of General Counsel stated in the filing.
It's neat that he's going to get fired over it. But if you or I did that, we would be in jail.
That's right. Well, and here's the thing. This is the first evidence I've seen of any kind of internal house clearing. Some people would say, oh, well, this is hopeful. Now that we're starting to see he's just the first domino to fall. No, it's not house cleaning until like 15, 20, 30 dominoes fall.
Yeah.
Right. And so we got a long ways to go. Now, if this is the beginning, great. But I don't think it is.
I'm going to disagree with you only in that you said 15, 20, and I'm going to say 30%.
No, I'm not talking about getting rid of them, just like tell them to hit the bricks. I'm talking about putting in, charging them.
So am I.
I don't know if you'd be able to make charges against that many of them. So
I'm pretty sure you can.
If they were truly aggressive in reform, he would not be getting fired. He would be getting prosecuted for contempt of Congress.
Chan also appeared as a witness in Missouri versus Biden, a federal case examining government influence over social media content moderation. During a deposition, he claimed to have no internal knowledge of the suppression of the New York Post's 2020 story about the Hunter Biden laptop. The controversy surrounding Chan coincides with the 2023 ruling by the U.S. Fifth Circuit, Court of Appeals, which found the FBI, White House, U.S. Surgeon General, CDC, CISA likely violated First Amendment rights by coercing significantly encouraging social media platform to censor content. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. I'm glad to see that this guy is getting the old just desserts. What else, guys? I mean, this is just one guy. I mean, there are probably hundreds related to these censorship cases alone, with social media companies. I mean, is there even a way do you guys think for them to go after these guys? I mean, Watcher, you're much more hopeful than I am. I mean, I honestly don't think that they could do any significant percent, even if they wanted to.
No, look. Is there a way, if we're talking about a perfect world in which laws are applied equally? Certainly. No, this would be easy as pie. These people have very clearly violated laws in order to go after in order to try and push their own political agendas and go after people like that. It's not even a question. The question I think you're asking is, can we actually do this in the real world where we have liberal judges proceeding over every piece of this that will defend them at every step? And the answer to that is obviously no. Yeah. But we can still fire them.
Yeah, I think that this is Cash and Bongino saying, well, we have to do something to somebody. This guy's low-hanging fruit. Here it is. See, look, we did something.
Yeah, here the thing that frustrates me is not even the lack of prosecution. I mean, that frustrates me. But ultimately, we need to see the faces of all of these people. They need to be known. I mean, we need to. And I don't know. I don't know what the best way to do that. So I don't know.
I think that the best way to do it at the moment, it seems like, is replacing Kash Patel and Dan Bongino with someone who actually means business. Look, if we're talking about laws these people violated, let's start with one that you could hang literally every one of them on, which is conspiracy to violate rights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you're definitely not wrong. Gentlemen, anything else on this one?
No, good riddance.
Yeah, it's a good start, but I get the feeling this is just a happy coincidence versus an actual good start.
I get the feeling that if Elvis had been willing to play ball, he might have got promoted. But
yeah, that's true. Well, yeah, yes. So our next story is about our favorite German political party, AfD, the Alternative for Germany. Watcher, you've got a video clip here, but I've got a BBC story here. I'm gonna read from that. AfD classified as extreme right by German intelligence. The Germany's Alternative für Deutschland party has been designated as a right-wing extremist by the country's Federal Office of the Protection of the Constitution. The ethnicity and ancestry-based understanding of the peoples prevailing within the party is incompatible with the free democratic order, i.e., it's not okay to be happy and to embrace being German. The domestic intelligence agency said in a statement, the AfD came second in federal elections in February, winning a record 152 seats in the 630-seat parliament with 20% of the vote. The parliament, or the Bundestag, will hold a vote next week to confirm conservative leader Friedrich Merz as chancellor, heading a coalition of the center-left Social Democrats. The AfD joint leaders Alice Weidel and Tino Chirapala said that the decision was clearly politically motivated and a severe blow to German democracy. They are not wrong. They argued their party was being discredited and criminalized shortly after they changed the change of government. The far-right AFD had been placed under. See, the fact that they like BBC, right, is calling them far-right, which is incendiary and honestly not even true when you compare AFD to Donald Trump. Donald Trump's way more far-right than AFD is.
Well, I'm going to quote Don here and say to those on the left, anyone to the right of Mao is a far-right extremist. And here's the thing: when you use the term extremist in some sort of legal documentation, it's a hard to prove term. It's subjective. It's not objective.
Yeah.
Right. I can call anyone an extremist. I can say if you like eggnog, you're an eggnog extremist because eggnog is gross. But that doesn't make me right. So
right. Well, so the interesting thing here is that it's a political opinion, right? You know, and by that very nature, it is an opinion, and so it's so subjective. It's not even worth putting any energy into it. Let's see.
Corky raises a good point. I'm guessing there's no similar classification for dangerous communist organizations. You're right. There is not. There is no far left extremist designation.
Yeah, the only exception might be is if a communist party started blowing up like, you know, German police cars and then taking credit for it. And then even then, it's only the people who are taking part in the bombings that would be considered extremists, not the organization they are a part of. Let's see. However, the acting interior minister said the agency had made a clear and unambiguous decision with no political influence whatsoever. That is a fucking lie. After a comprehensive review of the report of the 1,100 pages. Let's see. The Bundestag vice president said that as a designated right-wing extremist group, AfD should not be treated as other parties, especially in parliament. Because of their large number of seats, AfD members could be eligible to chair parliamentary committees, but Lindholt said that idea now was unthinkable. Here's my understanding. They're actually polling ahead of the CDU at this point because many of the things that the CDU ran on to get the votes that they got, they basically did a 180 on and said, nah, we're actually not going to do that. We're not gonna like kick any illegals out. We're not going to stop refugees coming in. And so the polling now shows that if AfD, knowing what voters know now, AfD would take the lead. The problem is with these fucking parliamentary systems, literally the number 2, 3, and 4 party could gang up on the number 1 party and take power, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Let's see. After the election process, AfD leaders said the so-called firewall that had prevented other parties from working with them should end. Anyone who erects firewalls will get grilled behind them. I don't know if I'm sorry. I mean, you know, I don't know if anybody who's called a right-wing extremist in Germany needs to be making jokes or comments about people cooking themselves.
That's probably not a good solid plan.
That is not a good look. It says, having doubled its share of votes in under 4 years, Churupala's party is still second in the opinion polls behind Mert's conservatives, despite several scandals, including one high-profile member being convicted of using banned Nazi slogans. Earlier this year, Alex Vidal embraced the term.
Stop you right there for just a second, because you just said a statement that is important. Banned Nazi slogans.
Yeah.
What's a banned Nazi slogan? Anything they say. Nazis could have said "Have a nice day," and I could call that a banned Nazi slogan.
Well, a specific example of that, I happen to know this because I talked to a German a couple of years ago, and this was one of the examples he used, is if you say Germany awaken or Germany erwacht, right? Or Deutschland erwacht, right? if you say that, then that is a Nazi slogan, because that is something that was like on Nazi posters back during the early 1930s.
But do people
So if
who
you
say that today know that?
well, right, and that's just it, Joe. I mean, some might they just kind of edge lording the whole thing because they know what they're doing, but others just may be like, yeah, that makes sense, like it's kind of like the song, what is it, the Ausländer Raus, song, that's not, people who are singing that song are not trying to be neo-Nazis. They just think it's a catchy song, and they happen to probably agree with the whole idea of foreigners get out of our fucking country.
Right.
And so it goes back to the whole idea of a subjective political opinion. And anytime you decide to hamper the freedom of speech, then this is what you're going to get. Let's see. Tech billionaire Elon Musk a long audience on in a live stream chat on X and called on Germans to vote for AfD. He then repeatedly posted his support for Vital's party in the run up to the vote. Wow, it's amazing. If you look at this, hold on, let me share this. It's kind of like anybody who's ever had to live under socialism has decided that they don't want any part of the socialist government. What do you guys notice here about the massive block of AfD voters here?
That is interesting.
So basic. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Joe. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say it's literally the Russian zone, right? It's East Germany.
That's right, because they had to live under that kind of totalitarian, and so their memory of it is very clear, and so they're going to the party who is showing them a much more free kind of way of life.
And I'll be honest, that one section of blue over there in West Germany is probably where a bunch of defectors live. Who were East Germans originally, and the same on the other side.
Yeah, I mean, you have the CDU and the kind of West Berlin section. You've got the left in the East Berlin section. So I mean, that kind of tracks, right?
Yeah.
This is a communist summer camp down here at this little pink piece. All right. Anyway, I just wanted to share that. Guys, this AfD thing is excuse me. It's kind of a canary in the coal mine for Europe, I think. If they allow AfD to kind of move forward, then maybe that is a kind of a loss for the statists that have been on the kind of winning in Europe for the last 35 years. So maybe that's hopeful, but at the same time, I don't think they're going to let it win. I don't think they're basically going to starve it to death is what they're going to do, I think. You guys, what's your take on that one?
I don't know. I think that it's just further proof that we're heading towards a global left-wing hegemony that is trying to shut out all opposition, right?
Yeah.
And the best way to do it is to label them as extremists and say, "Oh my gosh, they're terrible people. You can't even talk about them." It's a dangerous precedent, headed down a bad path.
No, you're not wrong. Watcher, anything before we move on?
No. What can I say? Don't let yourself be disarmed.
All right. Let's move to this next story here. It's
I shared the show, Dad. I hope you got it.
It's thank you. Let's start this next story with a bang, shall we? Or a blast, or And evidently, that cargo truck was carrying like freshly trained troops to like like replacement troops for a unit. So welcome to the new unit, guys.
Yeah. I want to know more about this rifle.
I'm telling you, did you get a good look at it that time?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Everything about it screams SKS, but
I know, that's what I'm saying. But it's clearly got a pistol grip and a 30-round AK magazine. It makes me feel like somebody made a copy of the SKS and just tried to modernize it.
Well, I mean, it's just called Bubba Egg. People been doing it stateside. Look how pleased he is with it. Hold on. Look how pleased this man is with himself.
Homeboy said I did good.
I shot the crap out of that truck. Yeah.
I put a whole mag into that thing.
They're
all saying it's a Type 81. Oh.
So this is an overhead view of it. I'm
from the opposite side of the street. Yeah.
I'm looking up Type 81 right now.
Yeah, that whatever it is weird as hell. But yeah, so I think this is where our ambushers are. If I was gonna guess, our dude's back here somewhere. Yeah.
Yep, Type 81. That's it, Joe. Watch it here. I got this is just a search link, but
I would call it the KS, the Kalashnikov Simonov.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, this is funky looking. I mean, I wouldn't want one, honestly. I mean, it's too funky looking for me.
Oh, I don't know. I might want one.
Oh, well, but
I never liked what was it? The VZ, the Czechoslovakian one that used the same magazine as the AK, but it was a totally different rifle. Yeah. Anyway, I always thought that a lot of people like that. I always thought it was just like like there was something about it like was just off, and so it just didn't sit well with me.
Yeah, the BC-58.
Yeah, that was a video from 2024 showing the Generation Z army ambushing a junta convoy.
So this is a story from Nikkei Asia. China deploys ceasefire monitors to Myanmar border region. So that was last year. This is what's happening now. China has sent observers to Myanmar to oversee a local truce it mediated, expanding Beijing's influence in Southeast Asian country, prolonging internal conflict. The ceasefire monitoring team's main task is to oversee a smooth handover of the urban areas of Laishio and the de facto capital of northern Shan state from ethnic rebels back to the military regime as Beijing aims to keep its border with Myanmar peaceful and stable. Chinese Foreign Ministry announced on April 22nd. I mean, this is just one of those kind of things. It's been weird to me. I mean, clearly China's involved in this. I mean, an organization like this is not going to be able to operate on China's doorstep without China's, implicit allowance of it. It makes me wonder if it was a kind of a punishment operation against the military junta there in Myanmar.
Well, there are about 7 different factions fighting the government there, fighting the junta.
Yeah.
Who has Chinese support, ironically. So it's an interesting conflict. The risk for the Myanmar government or Burmese government or whatever you decide to call it this week, the biggest risk for them is if all those disparate factions decide to actually link up and do something. They did it for one operation and were highly successful, but then fell right back into factional fighting. If they could just get their act together and band together, they might actually make some progress.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think you hit the nail right on the head, Joe. I mean, there's enough people in open revolt when they work together, the military junta's kind of fucked. The problem is they can't work together long enough to get anything going.
There's an important lesson from the Myanmar rebellion that needs to be taken to heart here in America. When the junta overthrew the government and everyone was upset, the government of Aung San, whatever her name was.
Aung San Suu Kyi.
Yeah, that's her. When everyone got upset about that, what began the revolution was 3D printed firearms. They began with rifles that they made themselves, and then were able to secure weapons from the Burmese army or Myanmar army, whatever. I think they're Myanmar now, but whatever. The Burmese army. And they were able to get them from them and now actually have more capable weapons. But it all began with homemade firearms. There is a lesson there. Don't let them take that right away.
Yee. Love it.
There's an entire class of rifle that file was shared just specifically for the Myanmar resistance.
Yeah, that's correct. Who would win, one Chinese-backed dictatorship or a little squirty boy?
There you go. And no, before someone says it was not the glong that I saw posted on Twitter the other day. Did anyone see that? It's a Glock frame with a bong attached.
Oh yeah, the glong, of course. Yeah, I saw that on a Boomer Patrol the other day. The glong's been around for a while, but the Facebook groups of boomers apparently found out about it.
Yeah, the only one that I've seen that I knew about is the FGC-9. I know those popped up over there.
Correct.
But, 9mm is great in like a city or something like that. But outside, once you get out of a city, you start. Can you imagine, Joe, having to fight in World War II with a 9mm as your weapon?
The British did.
So did the Germans. The Smyser was a 9mm submachine gun.
Yeah, we actually had a few. We had the Riesling. I guess the Riesling was 45 though.
Yeah. Well, even the M3 and the Thompson were both 45s, and then you could theoretically say the carbine, the M1 carbine, and with the 30 caliber
auto version. So.
Yeah, right. That's right. And but that 30 caliber carbine round is nothing more than like a 38, like a Magnum or something like that.
Well, yeah, but I'm gonna say something really unpopular here. It was a 300 blackout round. So literally 300 blackout is just a souped up 30 carbine.
Yeah.
Same thing.
With a Spitzer bullet, and everything. The 30 carbine round was like a pistol bullet though. It was a round nose. Yeah. So it just it was essentially a souped up submachine gun.
Remember, kids, in war, the purpose of a pistol is to acquire a rifle.
All right. Anything on Myanmar, guys, you want to talk about? I think the other kind of thing to take away from this, Joe, is this is a great example that if you don't stand together, then you'll hang separately.
Yeah. It's definitely what they need to do. They need to band together. I think we can make a song about Myanmar and Myanmar, but we'll get there someday. It's an interesting thing to watch because it's a place where China is able to test counterinsurgency doctrine. So,
yeah, it would be interesting to see what they pull out of this.
Remember too that the Myanmar rebels is where we first saw an anti-drone rifle.
Outside of the big militaries and stuff.
Yeah, I think we saw that in the seized warehouse of government weapons, but
yeah,
there was an anti-drone rifle in there.
All right, gentlemen, let's move on to promo section here. Joe, you want to do Yeah.
Oh.
I know I was just going to get it after we did the promo. So, it's not $10. I'd stop everything.
Oh,
at
yeah.
$10.
Sorry. I see promo and my brain goes, yeah. Sorry.
Joe, talk a little bit about tactical-wisdom.com. You got a little tactical wisdom getting ready to go on today. So, some good stuff.
Yeah, today we're going to do some combatives, some unarmed self-defense, some ground fighting. Tomorrow, sticks and knives. And then Sunday, my favorite, cold firearms combatives, including the bayonet. So good times will be happening this weekend. You can check out the training schedule. By Monday, I should have up the new schedule for the rest of the year. I've got it written down and on paper. I just got to confirm a couple things with a couple other people. But check that out. I'm also going to be writing an article on lessons learned from the blackout. I meant to have it up already, but my week's kind of gotten away from me here. We've had a few things come up at the camp that needed to be dealt with, and some good stuff like that. Some good donors come in that I had to actually spend some time dealing with, and cool, neat things. But check that all out. I want to stress to everyone the big training week that we have coming up here in just 2 weeks, May 16th through the 25th. The 16th, 17th, and 18th, NC Scout will be out here doing his RTO radio course, really the foundation for use of radio. Then the 19th, 20th, and 21st, he's doing SIGINT, where we take the radio and we go the other way. We start gathering information from others. The 21st and 22nd at night, he's doing night operations where we're engaging targets with thermals and IR lasers and night vision, all kinds of fun stuff. Kay from Combat Studies Group will be here now. We just added this class a couple days ago. The 22nd through the 24th, we're going to use that giant lodge building over there. I think, Scott, you were the first one to mention it. And that building is perfect for CQB because of all of the configurations, various corners, and a stairwell you have to contend with. So he's going to be doing CQB over there. We're using airsoft guns to engage targets inside the building. And then I'll be running community security ops the 23rd to the 25th. So really, if you took off a week plus a Friday, you could get in all kinds of training and really get yourself squared away. In the middle of that, I see him in the chat. Juan Gringo on the 22nd is going to do a free talk right here in this room, talking about how to apply the community security operations stuff to your property. He's going to talk about what he did on his property during the border crisis of the last 4 years and how they were able to actually make some inroads in illegal immigration across their property. So there's a lot going on that week. Great week to come out. I know that Stan and Jim are both planning on coming out here along with the leadership team over at Shield Arms. And they're also going to be offering, this is something new I just worked out yesterday. If you are here at that class, you will get a special discount on any purchase you make at Shield Arms just down the road. So
very cool
stuff. Going to be a good week.
That's awesome. Speaking of great places to spend money and get discounts, we're pumped up to bring another ad for our trusted sponsor, the Brushbeater Store. Gearing up for precision and readiness. At Brushbeater.store, their shooting-related gear is built for the armed American who takes marksmanship seriously. The Range R card, designed by NC Scouts, are a game changer for long-range shooting, offering bullet drop compensation for 5.56, 7.62, and even AK-specific 7.62 by 39. Perfect for dialing in your shots out to 400 meters. Need protection on that range or in the field? Then they're level 3A ballistic helmets tested for durability, pair seamlessly with night vision mounts for tactical operations. Plus, their tactical gear like chest rigs, pouches, keeps your ammo and essentials organized during drills or missions. Check out the full lineup at brushbeater.store. Use our exclusive code CFC10 at checkout for 5% off Range R cards, helmets, tactical gear, or any other item. Orders over $100 ship free. Visit brushbeater.store and elevate your shooting game. huge thanks to Matt, the owner, for his ongoing support. Matt, your commitment to the CFC and our community's preparedness is awesome. Thank you. So head on over to brushbeater.store, use code CFC10, and shoot smarter. And let's dive into the rest of the show, guys. All right. Damn, I am undefeated on these fucking promos.
Hey, I've got every variant of that Ranger card, and they're awesome and cool to have. You can just stick it in your pocket, pull it out, and get your range, and then your bullet drop compensation. Great things to have. I highly recommend them, and they're cheap. They're like $5. So, and I will have one of his sites on Friday.
Oh yeah, the new sites. What are they?
Yep.
Oh yeah,
the mini. So
okay, all right, cool. Yeah, I want to see how that sets up. I assume you're going to put it on a riser on like a M4 platform or something along those lines. Could you hear me, Joe?
no, my computer just went out, and I'm back now.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I was gonna say I'm curious to see how that set ends up looking. Are you gonna put it on a riser, like on an M4 or something?
I'm probably going to put it on the M4. I don't know if I need to put it on a riser or not. It depends on where my magnifier lines up. I've got a big Romeo magnifier, so we will see.
Yeah,
I don't like making them really, really tall, but right now I've got the Lucid E7 on there, and it's on a riser, so or L7. So.
Yeah, I like the co-witness because I like the just the backup iron sight kind of way using the red dot to kind of use with the irons, and I think it's a good way to kind of reinforce your iron discipline and everything. So the downside about those kind of lower profile sights when you chop off the front sight block and all that kind of stuff is I feel like you get away from irons a lot easier when you do that. But
yeah. Oh, and Be Prepared, even though Be Prepared is dead to me because he posted a photo of a 3-meat sandwich from Buc-ee's yesterday I didn't get. He points out that one of the Ranger cars also has a map protractor on it. So that's
I lost you, Joe.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, when you were explaining the range card, I lost. You just broke up. Watcher, can you hear Joe, or is it on my end? Or did Watcher?
No, it's breaking up for me as well.
Okay, all right. I just wanted to make sure if it was our end or your end, Joe. All right. Anyway, nothing you can do about that now. Any other last things you guys want to talk about before we move over to Rumble only?
I'm stuck right now on my computer, so
we can hear you fine right now.
It's the display that's.
Yeah, I
got nothing else on that. So,
as far as notes go, I got nothing. All right. Get over to Rumble, everybody.
Yeah. So let me drop the link here in the chat. There's the Rumble link in the chat. Follow that on over. Hey, look, there's David. Safe himself in the chat. We were talking about you the other day, David. I can't wait to get you back on and talk some of that. Just the AI stuff that you were mentioning is scary. So I think that'd be great to talk about.
So that's actually a running joke. You see that thing down there? During the 2020 election, David made a fake
that's right.
advertisement for me to run for a Wayne County prosecutor and the write-in thing, and it was quite funny. I told him I did not want to be the Wayne County prosecutor. That is for sure.
I thought it would be funny if they, got you elected dog catcher. You can't catch
because I don't have a choice but to look directly into the sun with this building. All the windows face the sun, so I'm stuck.
Yeah. It's kind of like a single orientation room type thing.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen. If you would all hit that button, follow the link over to Rumble. We will continue segment 1 and 2 over on Rumble only. I don't want to piss off the YouTube folks, though. I appreciate you guys, doing your big super chats and gift subs over on Rumble. That is the way. So, all right. Watcher, nothing else on this end. Let's go ahead and transition over.
Hey, by the way, Lance Corporal Veteran
go ahead, Jeff.
Twice. $5.
Oh,
there's two $5 super chats from Lance Corporal Veteran we need to address.
Yeah. So I thank you for reminding me. I got caught up on our promo section. FGC 9 used in Myanmar was designer named by Jacob Dugu under the pseudonym of J. Stark 1809, who died in police captivity after interview with Popular Front.
German police captivity.
German police. That's exactly right. Yeah, and I think that is our only super chat.
He was a German Kurdish dual national.
And he was one of the four fathers of that whole kind of 3D printed firearms industry. All right, guys, if there's nothing else, say again?
I said, may he rest in peace. All right.
Yes, indeed. All right, let's go ahead and hit the button, and let's switch on over to Rumble.
2, 0, 1.
It's 11:59. It's 11:59. Radio Free America. This is Uncle Sam with music. Uncle Sam till dawn. The truth till dawn. Right now, I got a few words for some of our brothers and sisters in the occupied zone.
3, 6, 4, 6.
The chair is against the wall.
3, 6.
The chair is against the wall. John has a long mustache.
8, 2, 5.
John has a long mustache.
8, 2, 5, 0, 9.
It's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines, this is your song.
2, 1.
All right, guys, let's